Good morning, folks. It's Duncan at Free as an Eagle. I'm up at the A-frame starting on a lot of exterior work, and it's such a gorgeous day I couldn't not say hi and put up a quick video just to update you on where I'm at. And we are making a lot of progress now. I'm actually looking forward to the windows coming in Wednesday, so that's exciting. Then the following week I'll be on vacation, so I'm really jamming right now to try to get all I can done, so when the windows come we will be ready for them. So I've had a little help from one of my sons and my son-in-law up here helping me mill lumber and paint boards and stain and polyurethane. So let me just start over on this side. I'm really getting excited because we're moving to the point where we can wind the outside of this up once the windows come, and I'm under some time pressure because my insurance has to be, they're going to want to see that I've substantially completed this by the end of September, which is definitely going to be a bit of a challenge, but nevertheless, I think we can pull it together. So we're getting into the nice detail stuff that I really love doing, just finished work that brings out the beauty in things, and a couple little details, mostly things to do with trim and painting, but you can see I have cement board over the styrofoam that wraps the foundation, so actually I've got the trim for the windows ready to go together, so that's going on soon. But we painted the gray over the cement board, which it's kind of a garage floor paint, but it's exterior stuff, so it's going to hold up well over the concrete board and make it look a lot prettier, which it does. Then on the dormers, I've been making up trim. What I did yesterday and today on this, I'm working on wood for the corner boards, which go on before the siding goes on, but I did get up on a ladder into the peak area here, so you can see I've got the soffit wood underneath, and now I painted the exterior wood. And this is a rugged building, so I'm making it a little rustic. I went ahead and used framing lumber for my trim, which is 2x6s and 8s and the like, but it'll be sturdy and it takes paint well. It's all Douglas fir, which is a very rugged, strong wood, so this thing is being built to be, highly weather resistant, let's say. So on this side, you can see I got my electric meter in here. I boxed this in with some wood because I had to do some drilling out of wood in order to make everything work, and I wanted to protect that. So this morning over the last couple of days, we painted the fascias and then installed the trim up underneath on the inside, so that covers the edges of the soffit wood, which came out really pretty. I just started to polyurethane that a few minutes ago when I decided to take this little break and say hi, but I hadn't polyurethaned the wood I put up in here. I was kind of hustling to get it up there after I stained it, but quickly realized if you dab it accidentally with a green paint and it's not polyed, it's hard to get it off. It really sucks it right up. And they make paints very well now, so the paints have a tendency to stick right to what they're supposed to and what they're not supposed to. So over here I started polyurethane too. I'm going to probably stick with this because we're supposed to get thunderstorms after lunchtime, so hustling to get all I can done before then. But you can see we had some green metal left from the roof pieces up on the ridge that we made, so I had enough metal left to make these flashings that match the colors. And what I've done here, I'll describe this little process. So there's going to be a porch where I'm standing, not just this little deck, and in order to be able to put the windows in and access the high parts of this, I realized it would be very difficult to do off this porch roof once it's up because it's going to be quite steep. So I mocked this up, and in so doing, what I did is actually took these are actually going to be the rafters, so I've screwed these to the house securely. So this is small enough to use 2x4s as framing lumber because of the steepness of the pitch, which is great. So I attached those to the building, and then I mocked it up by putting a piece of plywood that represents the roof plywood, and then the drip, I did put a piece of drip edge down against this before, which I've pulled out, but that allowed me to establish where the step flashing needs to go, and that's very important always to have the step flashing where you have a roof meeting a building. And the way that works is I stuffed little pieces of roofing I'd cut in as if I was putting the roof on, and installed all the step flashing with pieces of roofing in there, and then after the step flashing was secured, I pulled all that out. So this allowed me to mock this up in such a way we can do all the work on the front, install all the siding right against that drip edge, and then when we're done with that and have all the windows in, once that's all completely done, then we can build the porch, and the step flashing will already have been installed. Otherwise, you couldn't put it in after the siding goes on. There's no way to do that. It wouldn't be good or safe. So the way to do it is to mock it up like this so that each piece of step flashing is in the exact right place it's going to need to be when the roof goes on there. So with a little bit of luck, I didn't make any mistakes with that, and that will go right on there. So the main thing now is to get the windows, which will come in Wednesday, and once they're installed, then the siding can be installed. And I'll show you, we'll take a walk in here. We've been prepping a lot of wood. I still have to get the siding stained. I've been looking at a beautiful flame mahogany color, which is probably what I'm going to settle with, because brown and reddish browns go well with green trim. I've always liked that theme. So anyway, you can see there's a lot of trim here that's been painted. There's more that needs to be milled for the corner boards, which I'll explain in another video. But we have done a lot of work in here. We've been insulating. You can see most of this insulation is in. I've hung some temporary lighting. And, oh yeah, interesting thing, my brother was able to obtain a lot of this pine from a lumber mill at their cost, simply because it's beautiful knotty pine, but nobody buys 6-footers. And they come to the lumber yard in mixed bundles with all different lengths. And the 6-footers, people like to buy 8s. That's typical for a wall height or whatever. But this is an A-frame. It's a little rustic, and I really don't care if I have some odd lengths. They can break here and there. So Carter's done a lot of work helping me out. We've stained up a terrific amount of wood. So this is all going to go out on this soffit, and I'll take a little view out here. You look up outside where the windows are going to go, and you see framing out there, the whole overhang. We're going to be running this wood horizontally. The rest of it I'd run vertically because that worked where there was blocking in the soffit areas. But out back there, it's just, we ran extra rafters out in order to allow for that 8-foot overhang. So this wood will go the sideways, horizontal way. And that's perfect because the 6-footers will work very well. At some point, there'll be a place where they're not long enough. That's pretty far up. So we'll throw some pieces in, not a big deal. But for getting it for half price, $3 a board, price is right, we're in. So we have a lot of that made up and ready to go. That'll probably take care of that outer soffit. And then once we get to doing the interior here, the kitchen, let's see, I'll do a little quick description. So that's the cellar, obviously, stairs going down there. And the bedroom over here is temporarily, I did some organizing, by the way, you can't really tell, but it was a terrific mess in there a few weeks ago, and I decided to try to consolidate things. I opened this room up. We used up a lot of the insulation that had been cluttering the building. So now this will be a bedroom. Those windows will be coming in. And we did a substantial amount of insulating in the ceiling, even though for heat reasons, there's no need at all for it. This is simply to sound damp it because of the second floor overhead, a big bedroom. So that's going to have carpeting, which has been described to me as the best way to damp out the sound is simply carpeting upstairs. But nonetheless, we're going to do everything possible to make it quiet. This insulation is thermal. And you can see there's only the lower part. I've got R38 in there that takes up the whole space. But for wiring reasons, I put R19 in, which is fills about half the bay, and then I can run my wiring. You want to run your wiring in the middle of the walls so screws and nails won't reach any of your wiring. So the trick is to put that in the middle. And with the big framing, I thought, well, we'll just put a layer R19 in there, run the wiring, throw another layer over it, and that will take care of that. And I don't like slashing up insulation to put wiring through it. It's itchy. It's nasty stuff to work with, so I'm trying to stay away from that. So this is kind of where we're at. I'm rolling ahead now. We're down to the not so difficult but faster parts of the job, which I actually like, and I love seeing a job come together. It's my favorite part is doing finish work. So when this actually looks pretty the way it's supposed to, that's where the satisfaction is for me. I enjoy doing all the heavy stuff that we did last year. In fact, what's funny is a few days ago, I keep these little planner notebooks that I write things in. I don't like to just do everything on the computer. But I had opened the wrong book. I had it out to look up passwords I had in the back of that notebook. And when I looked in it, I realized I was looking at the 2024 book, and I looked at the date that was current a few days ago, and we were literally just starting this frame. We only had 6 rafters up. I'm like, wow, it's been a long year. We had done all the heavy stuff over the last year, and then the winter was kind of a little bit of a lull. I didn't have heat in here, so I couldn't do a lot. Well, now we have power, we have lighting. No heat yet, but hey, we have plenty of heat coming in. It's like 80 out. That's hot enough for me. Don't need any heat until fall. And I did go over the whole wood stove install, so that's a thing that will be waiting. And I'm still haven't completely decided what other heat I'm going to use. Wood's kind of a backup ambiance thing for me, and I like it. But yeah, you got to have something that will work when you're not there to stoke a stove. So you can see some cement board there that represents a hearth that will be tiled eventually. So right now the main focus is on the exterior, and this is what's really got to be closed in so it's weather tight. And then in the winter or whatever time comes, I can finish out the interior. So exterior now, interior after that, and we jam like crazy until we get into the end of September, by which time I should have a leach field in over in that area. I got my well over in the corner there. Hasn't been hooked up to the house yet, but it was drilled. That's most of the work. They've got to just pop a hole in the cellar wall and bring the water in, and then we'll have a utility room and laundry and all that good stuff downstairs. So we're coming along. We're making a lot of progress, and I'm quite happy to see it at this point. It's starting to look really pretty. So anyway, that's where we're at today. You can see this crazy drying rack, the staining drying rack I have out here to lay wood on. It gets pretty warm out here, but it's been working out well. So yeah, my project today is I'm going to try to poly the rest of the underside of all that soffit wood, which is a lot of ladder work, but I'm okay with it. And the polying is actually the easiest. It's easier than staining. So I just want to weather tight all of that wood so it doesn't get grungy. And we will carry on. So anyway, good talking to you folks. And if you have any questions or suggestions, pop them in there. Right now, it's just crank it away until we get it done. That's the big project. So enjoy. Have a good day.